Alright guys, so after putting out another video earlier, which is somewhere around here, talking about United versus Everton, I want to go ahead and talk about some of the other Premier League giants and what they did over the weekend. Now, starting off with Liverpool, who blew a 3-1 lead against Bournemouth. Now, I'm not sure if I said this in one of my videos, but I actually predicted that Liverpool we're gonna start to crumble without Coutinho, because I think that he is the heart and soul of that team. Ever since Steven Gerrard left, Liverpool needed somebody that was going to take the team, basically on their shoulders and make them great. And that's what Philippe Coutinho was doing. I'm not particularly a fan of the guy. I've never really particularly liked him, even from his time at Inter. And if you don't know, I live in Italy, so I have to deal with a lot of Inter fans. And they sort of pissed me off with him because they were pushing him back in the day when he was still with them, when he wasn't really that good yet. He was very promising, but he wasn't that good yet, so they really sort of pissed me off over him. So I kind of burnt out of Felipe Coutinho very early on. But I have to admit that he's a very, very good player, and there's no doubt that he is the reason that Liverpool are doing so well. Now, Liverpool have some other very good players as well, but they aren't on his level, and they aren't as influential as he is. And we saw that against Bournemouth. Yes, they had a 3-1 lead, but they collapsed. They collapsed without their talisman, and they collapsed without their best player. And I think that that's not necessarily something that we're going to see a lot of, but I do think that's going to be something that we see more of whenever Felipe Coutinho isn't in there. Very much like Company when he's out with Manchester City, or at least when he was before, back when they didn't have some of the other players they bought in this summer. But I think that he's going to have a very similar effect. Without him, they're going to lose some of that confidence. They're going to lose that guaranteed performance that he's going to bring every single time. And that is going to be a bit of a problem for them. And I think that that's what we saw with Liverpool against Bournemouth. As you know, I'm a United fan. Oh, I'm not wearing my sweater, but whatever. So I'm very happy to see Liverpool lose. Most importantly, because of the fact that we need them to drop points. And if you saw my video, my live reaction, which is here, to Marouane Fellaini blowing it, I was extremely pissed off at the fact that City and Liverpool both dropped points, and we did not take the chance to get somewhat closer to them. I mean, top four is pretty much out of the question. We are not going to be there. But with Liverpool and City both dropping points, it was an opportunity for us to at least get closer and put in some kind of pressure on them. However, we blew that, and Liverpool, I think they're going to be a top 4 team, maybe top 5 right now. Unfortunately, that it hurts me to say that, but I do think that they do have the quality to be a top 4 team if Coutinho comes back healthy very fast, and if he does stay the rest of the season healthy. Without him, I think they're going to be a 5th place team. I don't see them getting over 5th, but let me tell you, there are a lot of teams in this league right now that could do well, and there are a lot of teams over the next few months that could propel themselves up there. Like United, Tottenham, all these teams are very close, have similar skills, and could get themselves in there, but I think the Liverpool are going to be safe. Now I want to talk about Chelsea versus Manchester City. Now, what is it that makes Chelsea so great? Very simple. Keep it simple, stupid. It's a classic military thing, and it's very true. You know what I mean? The more you make things complicated, the more likely they are to fail. If you keep things simple, then they are more likely to succeed. You look at Antonio Conte. What was his strategy? Sit back, let City come at you, and exploit your explosive wingers that are going to get there before their defenders. That's simply what they did. What was it? 2 of their goals were on the break. Hazard and Willian were both on the break. They were excellent goals, but they were no doubt counterattacks. And, that's exactly what Chelsea strive at, because they know that defensively, if they can use all their strengths, they have a pretty good defensive unit once they build together. Plus Antonio Conte being Italian, he's going to be able to teach them how to defend well as a group. That's what they do, and they know they have fast as fuck wingers, and they have a powerful striker like Diego Costa, who isn't exactly slow, who can really lead the line. When you have that kind of offensive group that can really explode down the wings when other people can't keep up with them, then if you can just launch it forward when City push forward with their fast guys, then you have a chance of hitting him on the break. That's exactly what Antonio Conte did. He kept it very simple. He kept it pretty much stupid. So stupid that Pep Guardiola, who is a tactical mastermind, who pretty much does everything extremely complicated, was, caught off guard. And that's exactly what gave Chelsea the win. It was destined to fail against a guy like Antonio Conte, who is a master at exploiting his opponent's weaknesses. That's what he's always done. You saw him at the Euros. He had a pretty piss poor team of, for at least an Italian standard, and he got them to almost beating Germany in the quarterfinals. You know what I mean? Nobody expected him here. Nobody expected him to do that. And that just showed that he is a much better manager, in my opinion, than people give him credit for. And honestly, I think that Chelsea are the team to beat right now. I think they are the best team in the Premier League. I actually had an idea that that was going to happen because, now, hold on, let me get this straight. I thought Man United and Manchester City were going to run away with it, but with Chelsea like 5 or 6 points behind them. But I said early on, if I'm not mistaken, in my video, I said it to people that I know and stuff like that, that Chelsea individually have the best players in the league. When it comes to how they are as a group, in my opinion, you know, if they have an excellent keeper, probably the second best in the league, you know, if you look at them individually in each of their positions, I think that they are right there with City as the best team in the league, I mean, without a doubt. And so I expected them to do very well. I was expecting Conte to take a little bit more time to gel with them, but now that he's gelled so fast and he's found his formation, I think that they are the team to beat, and I think that they will end up getting probably will end up winning the title. And actually, you know, if United doesn't end up in the title contention, then I would really like to see Chelsea win it because of the fact that they aren't City, they aren't Liverpool, and they aren't Arsenal, first of all. And, you know, I like Antonio Conte. He's an interesting guy. I like his managerial style, so I would love to see him win. And, you know, it would just be you know, something that we didn't really expect. It wasn't like Leicester levels of surprising, but it was something that nobody expected. So that's my opinion on Chelsea versus Manchester City. All right, guys, so now I want to talk about Arsenal real quick and talk about how good Alexis Sanchez really is. Now, there are some people out there that were denying how good he is, and me, myself, personally, I wasn't exactly convinced that he was among the top 10 players in the world, but he continues to show that he really can do it, and to do that with Arsenal, you know what I mean? That really is impressive because, don't get me wrong, Arsenal are a good team and all that stuff, but they do tend to squander a lot of chances and they tend to blow a lot of stuff over the course of a season. And right now, he's been showing that he is the leader that Arsenal have always needed. And I think that with him, Arsenal could be contenders if they could just find a few other consistent players on that team, because Mesut Ozil isn't exactly consistent. Even though he's great, don't get me wrong, he just isn't consistent. And Arsenal need a lot more consistency. Arsenal need a lot more consistency if they are eventually going to be title contenders once again. Real title contenders, not getting third or fourth or whatever. Real title contenders where they push until the last day. So I think that Arsenal, you know, if they can find some more players, then they actually could be a very, very good team. But until they find somebody that can match Alexis Sanchez in consistency and enthusiasm and hunger and drive, then they will never do that. So that's it for the video, guys. Also, an honorable mention to Tottenham, who went out there and got a 5-0 win against Swansea. Good performance from them. I'm not really going to talk about that because Swansea aren't the type of team that you really talk about. You know what I mean? Great performance from Tottenham. Dele Alli kind of disappointedly took a dive, but that's what happens nowadays. It's just normal stuff, and it's unfortunate to see, but it's part of the game nowadays, so I'm not even going to go ahead and talk about it as much as the mainstream media would do because I kind of find it useless. People are going to cheat, and until they make a way to where you can get punished for diving after the fact, then you know, whatever. It's not really worth my time. Alright, guys, so that is it for this video. If you enjoyed it, please hit the like button and please subscribe to the channel. And please share it with any friends that you think might be interested in soccer or football or whatever you want to call it. It's all the same, guys. Let's just be happy and let's just all get along. It's just a sport. We all love this sport. Whether you call it soccer or football or calcio or football, whatever you want to call it. It's just one giant family. Let's just make it that. Fuck Arsenal, fuck Liverpool, fuck City. But as always, nothing but love, nothing but peace, and I will see you in the next video, guys.